Get your figures at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description.
Kaiju, turtles, Dragon Ball, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hello there, collectors. It is Steven here, and I am kicking off a Metroid celebration because it is time for E3 season in 2021. And Nintendo, you're going to be announcing something for Metroid Prime 4, right? Right. So we're going to be taking a look at a whole bunch of fun Metroid figures and collectibles. And today we're going to kick it off with what is probably one of my favorite Metroid collectibles. And it is going to be the Figma Metroid Prime 3 Samus.
It's Samus.
What?
Samus Aran.
Sam?
You're in America. Speak American.
Oh, there are going to be people who really are going to complain about that pronunciation. Well, all right, so Samus, but do keep in mind, Samus, technical correct pronunciation, so I'm going to slip up throughout all the videos. But anyway, the Metroid Prime 3 Samus Aran Figma. Now, this one had a lot of controversy around it. Yeah, so it is rather expensive, clocking around $80 or so, and it doesn't come with a whole lot. Yeah, this one came out right around the time where Figma releases started to really creep up in price for seemingly no reason, and accessories were cut. So not a lot of people picked this up on the first release, and there has been a reissue. So with that in mind, we need to take a really close look here to see whether or not it's worth adding to your collection. And that was it. That's the intro. Let's get on with the review. So, Metroid Prime 3. May not be everyone's favorite Prime game, but it's kind of like choosing your best 3 favorite pizza places. They're all great. Even if you can't go to your most favorite, you're still going to have a good time with Prime 3. And this design here for the Varia suit is going to be good. And yeah, the changes between Prime 2 and 3 were very minimal. Prime 1 to 2 and 3, they just kind of resized a couple of things, not a whole lot changed. So, hey, if you like the Prime series, this is going to be the action figure to pick up. So you don't have to watch the rest of the video. That will define my review for you. Now, the price, like I made mention at the top of the review, definitely spiked up here with this release. Approximately $80 or so in the US market. Now, where did that dollar bill of yours go if you buy this? The looks department and the engineering for the articulation. We'll take a look at the articulation in just a second, but I've already gone ahead and shown you the up-close pictures here by this point. You can see that they did a fantastic job. I mean, realistically speaking, I have to say that this is probably one of my favorite figures in my collection. They utilize translucent plastic wonderfully here. The orange could be a bit more rich, I would say. They could probably bump up the contrast just a little bit. But I'd have to say overall, from the original prototype, which looked horrendous, they really fixed everything up here. It's not exactly one-to-one to the in-game model, but realistically speaking, I don't know what else they could have done. Sammy here looks great, and quite frankly, I am so thrilled to have this in my collection. So articulation, the only thing I can say to sort of top it all off, great. She's articulated very well. So let's take a look to see what we have going on here. So this is rather interesting. So there's a ball joint that plugs into the head, and then that plugs in on a hinge, and then that plugs in on a peg to swivel around. So we have a lot of movement going on for that joint. And then that plugs into this hole so we can move everything around. There is a little bit of a neck sleeve here. I think this is incorrectly. That's popped off a few times, and I never actually got to see it before it popped off. So I'm assuming that that's correct. The head does like to pop off, but it is what it is. It's easy to fix if it does. But that ball joint plugged into the helmet, it is pretty tight for me. So it is difficult to move. But that peg does plug into a socket, which is also in and of itself a ball joint, so this way you can rock her head from side to side. Okay, good. Now, what do we have here? Well, we do have a couple of floating parts here, so this way it hides any gaps you may not like, and the shoulder pads do move, all right? Okay. Well, what's of interest is that the way that all of this is engineered is a bit different than the other M Figma. So we do have the shoulder pads, which are plugged in on their own joint, and then it splits off, so this way the arms are on their own joint as well. So they're ball joints, and look at that. Look how much better that moves than the other M Figma. Very good. So we can T-pose. We get swivels. Very good. Yeah, lots of joint movement. You get a dedicated ball joint there. Very good. And again, the shoulder pads, they have their own joint. Great. Single hinge at the elbow, but look at that range of movement. That is going to be true for both the arm cannon and the normal arm. And then because of the way that the Figma joint system works, those both technically have swivels as well. Taking a look at the hand, you can see that, yeah, we're going to have swivels and hinges there. Very good. Do we have anything here for the arm cannon? No, we don't. Now, we do have a ball joint for the ab crunch, which is very good. And then this moves. So we can get her to crunch forward and lean back, but because of the way that the armor is designed, whether it's up or down, it doesn't really matter. It just blends in well enough. For the hips, what do we got? Well, we got a system of ball joints here. At least that's what it looks like. But the cool part about it is that if you really want to get the leg to go out to the side, we do have these floating parts which are on hinges, which allow you a little bit of extra range of movement. And they do sort of swivel as well. Not a whole great range of movement unless you really force it. So do keep that in mind. You can push this figure a little bit. Just got to be gentle. Make sure you're not ham-handing it and twisting anything. We do have single hinge knees, which also have swivels. Very good. And then we do have toe hinges. Very cool. We do have ankles on a hinge where they plug in. And then this is... That ankle rocker is insane. So real quick, to go back to the head movement, we can get her to crane her neck forward and then get her to look up. Of course, it wants to pop out. Mine likes to do that, but let me really get some good movement here. Yeah. So the neck on mine, kind of difficult to move, but realistically speaking, yeah, this Figma is fantastic when it comes to articulation, and you can realistically speaking get her into any pose with ease. This is a fantastic Figma. Really love it. All right, accessories time, and this is kind of where we go from, yes, this figure is awesome, to, oh, what were you doing? We get some alternate hand parts. We get a missile launcher tip for the arm cannon, and we get the Morph Ball. We do get the Figma support stand and the baggie, but it is what it is. Now, for the alternate hand parts, cool, we are going to get the thumbs up hand, which alternately could be a thumbs down hand if you wanted to do that. We get a super splayed hand, and then we get one hand, so this way she can sort of cup the arm cannon, so that's pretty good there. I would assume, very good. Now, for the Morph Ball, it looks just swell enough as well, with no real issues there. There is going to be a hole in it, so this way you can plug the Figma support stand in there. And the cool part about it is that it does rotate. What application does this have? I don't know. If somebody is able to figure that out, please drop in the comments and let me know. I'm not being sarcastic, facetious, so on and so forth. I would really like to know what use this has. So please do. And then we do have the missile launcher tip for the arm cannon, which is actually pretty neat. I really do like this. It is fragile, let me make that clear, so do be careful when you're swapping out parts so you don't break anything, but you would have to sort of ham-hand it in order for that to happen. Now, that's it. For the price point, no. No. So, yeah, she looks great. The articulation is fan-friggin-tastic, but no. Not in a game where we get the grapple lasso. We're getting a whole bunch of crazy beam effects, missiles. No. No. No, what are you guys doing? So the cool thing about this is that the Metroid Prime 2 Echo's design for the Varia suit is pretty much the same as Prime 3, so you can get by with some other effect parts secondhand on the market, and you can do stuff like the Dark Beam. Yeah. But if you have the other M Figma, you can put the beam effect in here. So yeah, if you need other effect parts or stands, I got videos to help you out. I'm kind of rambling at this point. Size comparison time with some other figures you might have in your collection, including the other Metroid Figma releases. This one, is a good size. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. At MSRP, again, what are you paying for? That has always been the discussion since day one. You, my friend, you are paying for how this thing looks and the engineering. You are not paying for the accessories because they included effectively none, which I think is pretty not okay. However, you can make up for that with other effect parts on the market. Now, everything considered, is it worth the purchase? Absolutely. It is a fantastic figure where the accessories are going to be the only flaw that it has. Some are okay with that, others are not. If you like Metroid Prime, though, you're gonna want to get this. Don't sleep on it. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.